The final game on this slate here, Nate, for our Thursday night in the postseason, we've got the Mavs looking to close things out versus this Jazz team who kind of seem like they want to be closed out. We've been saying that for a bit. They did pull one out, but Luka's back. It was a complete smackdown. As you say, you almost have to try to go 3 for 30 from deep. That's very, very hard to do. Donovan was he looked a little bit hurt. He was just pulling from everywhere, just trying to force it. That's honestly the best form of offense that they've shown in the playoffs as of late. Despite Rudy, trying to take advantage of a Maxi Kleber matchup, you had a lot of Dwight Powell in this last game. So I don't know. The real question here is, Mavs -2 in Utah again here, as the Mavs will try to close it out without even having to go home. A low total, obviously 209. Once again, if the Jazz are going to fail to score 80 points, I think you'd love an under. But they are home. Their offense is much better at home. So I don't know if you're eyeing the total here, Nate, or are you looking at the line there first?
No, I can't mess with it. Can't trust them. Can't win with them. They don't seem to like each other. We said this before the series. So much for that Donovan Mitchell assist to Gobert for the winner in Game 4, which was actually his first assist to Gobert on a go-ahead bucket in like 3 years or something. Shows you all you need to know about how this team is constructed and how they feel about their future. They're ready to pack it in and give them a reason, and they will. Whereas Dallas is, next to Boston, has been the best team in the NBA since the middle of January, and now they got their guy back. We said it would take one game for them to get situated with Luka back in the lineup. That's all it took. And then they came out and they played that lockdown defense and played really good complementary offense with DFS and Reggie Bullock joining Luka in the ranks of being a plus 30 out there. Basically, they go 6 for 16 from three. The Mavs shot poorly otherwise as a team, but that was because the game was already out of hand from deep. And they post an 85 defensive rating. Yeah, the reason we've been fading the Jazz so consistently is because it's Donovan Mitchell and nobody else. And we love Donnie Mitchell. Like, don't get us wrong. We don't like the Jazz. We absolutely revere Donovan Mitchell. Think he's an excellent talent. That being said, him and Luka don't even play the same sport. Like, Donovan Mitchell does nothing to shift the gravity of the floor, to open things up for his teammates. I won't say nothing, but comparatively, Luka Doncic changes everything, and he's not even getting the assists, but he's just creating so much spacing for the Mavs. He's just dictating the pace since he came back, and they've just controlled this action, and you could see the frustration from Utah. The fact that game ended with Hassan Whiteside getting a flagrant, pulling Luka to the ground. That's what losers do when they've lost. This Jazz team that everybody knows is going to get broken up in the offseason. I don't really trust them to win at home. I definitely don't trust them to score and help us out with an over here. What I'm taking is the Mavs, which is what I've taken. I told you since before the series started, whether Luka was in or not. And now that Luka's back, they've gone away from the Kleber minutes, trying to pull Rudy away from the basket. He's pretty much split evenly with Dwight Powell. Kleber has 3 points in 38 minutes since Luka returned. Both games have gone under. So, if anything, I'm looking under, maybe under on a team total. But no, my preference is just to take the Mavs here on the money line, probably with some other results you like, and expect this series to just wrap up as it is.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's much fight left in them. We'll see. Donovan, he did have a slight tweak, right, in that last Game 5 there, where he was a little bit hurt. He came out because there was no point anymore, obviously, at one point, I believe, late in the third, early in the fourth, whatever it was. So didn't come back. There was no reason, but it also seemed like he wasn't quite himself. But point being, if you were going to target a total and you think the Jazz are going to fight for their lives, then you might consider an over just because of the fact that, I mean, Luka and the team can score. Even if they do play at a 92 pace or slower, they can still get 110 points with how efficient that they've been playing offense with him in it. I'm not going to hit that. I don't believe in the Jazz. So that over is predicated on believing in the Jazz's ability to fight. And the thing here is, look, game 5, they're going to regress a bit to the mean upwards, even if Donovan Mitchell isn't himself. I mean, he went 4 for 15 and 0 for 7 from 3 to contribute to that horrible 3-point. But Bojan is their second scorer, and Bojan was missing in this game in 27 minutes. He did not hit a field goal. He went 2 for 3 from the line. He was a minus 37 while he was on the floor, only outdone by Donovan's minus 38. And so his inability to hit anything is going to get you 77 points. Jordan Clarkson came in, did his thing in some garbage time, whatever. I don't know where they're going to turn. I mean, it is really, in terms of their total in this game, it is really a matter of if Bogey's hitting shots at this point. Jordan Clarkson, whatever, we can rely on him for maybe 20. And then Donovan's just a question mark right now because of the fact that I think he's forcing it. He seems frustrated. And obviously we all know what the sort of internal strife is right now for them. Look, Luka also is back. And that's really, at the end of the day, like, we could just squash any sort of negative storylines about the Jazz with plenty of positive storylines about what Luka does against the Jazz. And this season specifically, now faced him 5 times, over 30 points a game, 11 boards, 6.5 assists. They're 3-2 in those games with him. But yeah, they're winning the last couple. And in these playoffs, it really is Luka time. I mean, as we saw, and he played well. He got his points. I would say that Jazz defense was incredibly porous, as we've said. There's no defense at the top of the key on the wings. It's just get by them at will, get open threes and kickouts, whatever. Just avoid Rudy and you're fine. And then if you can, get him in a blender at times. And guys like Jalen Brunson were ending up with him one-on-one. And he has. If you look at his matchups in this game, he has so many different guys that he's guarding for like a minute and a half at a time because they're just hunting him on the switches if they're running pick and roll at all. And then he's just left on an island too often against Luka. He's guarding him for like a minute 45 in this game, which he's never supposed to be guarding him. So the fact that he's guarding him for almost 2 minutes means that they're just going after finding ways to get him on Luka at will and handling things that way. So total is not worth it. A tiny spread in Utah, fine. You expect Utah to play a little bit better on offense. They definitely are going to score. They're going to score more than 77 points at home. Where we always talk about how much better they were on offense this season. But I don't think it's going to be enough as things stand. And those 2 points are great. If you were smart like Nate and took plus 230 before Luka even stepped on the floor for the Mavs to win the series, you're feeling great about it now. But I don't know that you're really looking at any of these series or markets to try to find some juice at this point for the Mavs anymore.
No, but there's some player props you can look at. Dorian Finney-Smith, who we nailed last time, was well over 18 PRA in the third quarter of a blowout, and now we're looking at a closer game. He's so integral to what they do, and integral to keeping Donnie in check. I mean, he's had a couple spike games, but like I said, coming into the series, very poor numbers against the Mavs, especially this season with Dorian Finney-Smith, who's an all first team defense snub, I guess. One of the more versatile guys out there, and Bullock able to just switch on to Donnie at times too. Both those guys. Look, there's just so much fight in the Mavs. These teams couldn't be further apart in terms of their chemistry and how much they pull for each other. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned Luka in the playoffs. This is maybe the easiest task he's had, considering he went up against those Clippers in his last series. I mean, now he's got Royce O'Neal and he's got Rudy lurking at the rim, but he was able to just kind of maneuver around him in the last couple games, get his points. Rudy, who we didn't really talk about, I mean, he's bounced back a little bit individually with a defense rating of 111 the last 2 games, 17 points, 13 rebounds, but he's still on -7 in his 30 minutes per game in those spots. Not able to punish the Mavs as much as he did in that game 4 when they stuck with Kleba a little too long. Now they can play Dwight Powell along Luka, and they can still get good shots. Yeah, because he is that partner for Luka.
Yep.
And yeah, the last thing, I mean, the Mavs, it's not like they struggle away from home. They win games they're expected to win. They're 40-10 straight up as favorites. Yeah. Average margin 8 points per game, 15-4 as road favorites this year. So small spread at -2.
That.
I think you just take that and expect them to close this out.
Yeah, and just to add to that, on the other side, the Jazz have the worst straight up record, against the spread record after a loss this season, showing probably some a lack of mental fortitude. 10-23 against the spread, failing to cover by 4 points in those games when they're coming off of a loss this season. So. Why not continue to look for it? I think some player performance doubles sound like a great idea. DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith, plus 270 for 6 boards and a win. I do like him to get around 5 or 6 again. So there's plenty of things to like in there, man. If you head over to FanDuel, Luka double and a win plus 178. So because this spread is pretty small and there's the likelihood that the Jazz have a quarter or two where they look like, a team that doesn't want to go home yet. I think the Mavs, their fortitude is way stronger. And you can look at those player performance doubles to get you a little bit more juice since this spread is pretty small. But that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page, as we will continue to bring you each and every playoff game with a video, as well as these player props that will continue to roll along with you. So until we see you next, happy betting.